Welcome to For Book Lovers Only Live Radio, where we discuss amazing books written by talented authors. For Book Lovers Only Live Radio is a proud member of the Village Connector Media Network. If you love books, we have a home for you. Now time for your host and chief book lover, Rob Brown.
Hello, book lovers and book fans. Welcome to For Book Lovers Only Live Radio, where if you love books, we have a home for you. My name is Rob Brown, your internet radio host and chief book lover. So excited to have you with us today and hope you're having a great week. We are really excited about today's show. We have in our studios the health motivator, Rochelle Parks. But before we begin, I want to invite you to check out our new and improved website. We were down for a few weeks doing some major upgrades, but we are back in business and better than ever. We have a new look, a new feel. It's easier to navigate with greater functionality. Please visit us at www.forbookloversonly.com. That's www.forbookloversonly.com and see for yourself. I think you'll be quite pleased at our new look. Now, if you're a book lover and you're not a member of our Book Lovers Club yet, I'm going to ask you, what are you waiting for? It's simple to join, and it's free. Just text the word book to 301-321-8887. That's 301-321-8887, and then you'll receive a message with a link. Click on the link and then fill in the form, and then click Sign Me Up, and you're automatically a member. We're going to be having some contests for members only where you can win free books, coffee mugs, tote bags, T-shirts, all kinds of great stuff for those who are members of our Book Lovers Club. So don't hesitate. Feel free to join today. Now, for our guest, she is a wife of 23 years, mother of 3 awesome children, active duty military officer. She has a passion for health and wellness, and she is a force to be reckoned with. She spends a lot of time transforming lives through health coaching and also facilitates biblical weight loss and nutrition classes at her church. She's a certified health coach and personal trainer with the Institute for Integrative Nutrition and is the type of health and wellness coach who gives you exactly what you need when you need it. Her book, The Priority Has to Be You, 10 Keys to Achieving Optimal Health, is only for those who are ready for change. If you're not, then don't pick up this book. However, if you are ready for lifelong change, this book is exactly what you need. It takes all of your excuses away. It addresses the battles that go on in your mind and provides practical solutions that render you victorious. We welcome the health motivator For Book Lovers Only Live Radio, Rochelle Parks. Rochelle, thank you so much for being our guest today.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you. So I want to dive right in this book. This is a very important book. What was your motivation behind writing this book?
Wow. Honestly, my motivation really almost prevented me from writing the book, in that so many people were asking me, Rochelle, how do you get this done? How do you get it done? I see you on Facebook. You're exercising every morning. You're meal prepping on the weekends. You're doing things. I see you riding your skateboard with your daughters. You're hula hooping. You're riding bikes. How are you able to get all this done? And it's simple. I just kept saying it. I mean, because I make myself the priority, because I take care of me. And so I like to use the analogy when you're in an airplane and the stewardess or the flight attendant, that's the new appropriate word, when they explain to you if something goes down on the plane and that oxygen mask comes down, who puts it on first? You do, right? And so you have to take care of you first so you can take care of others. And so that was honestly my motivation in writing the book. I just got tired of people asking me, how do you get this done? So I said, if I put it in words, maybe they'll listen.
That's an awesome analogy, by the way. That's amazing. So who is the book intended for? Like, who is your ideal audience to get value out of this book?
So because I am female, the obvious answer would be, well, females. Females are more drawn to me just because they know my battle, they know my struggles, because I am female. But honestly, this book is for everybody. The principles in this book they're not gender specific. They're for everyone who wants to achieve optimal health, everyone who struggles, who's battling those voices in their head. I mean, we all have those voices, when you want to get up in the morning. Some voices tell you, no, get some rest. You don't have to get up. So this book is for everybody, even though probably more women are drawn to it than men, but men have bought the book, and I've had great success, great feedback even from the men who have bought this book.
And I imagine that you probably get a really good reception with regards to people here in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area where everybody's like super busy and nobody's really making themselves a priority. I mean, this is a book that we really need, probably in other like large metropolises, New York City, Chicago and stuff. I think that this book has, quite a lot of value for people who kind of live in those areas. Now, this is the type of book that gets to the point pretty quick. Does it give you immediate solutions to your problems?
I would say yes. Well, first of all, it's not a book with any fluff. As you say, it gets to the point. That's, people saying there's no fluff in the book because quite frankly, the battle really, the struggle people have is in their head. And so because people see me exercising and meal prepping, they automatically thought the book was going to be, the perfect exercise plan, the perfect meal plan. And I was like, no, the book is about getting your head right. We have to get your mind right first. We have to have the right perspective, get your mind right, because honestly, I can give you a meal plan, I can give you an exercise plan, but if your head is not right, nothing I tell you will last. You will eventually revert back to that stinking thinking is what I like to call it.
Stinking thinking,
right? So we have to get the head right. And so this book absolutely addresses the issue. It identifies what the real issue is, and it's your head. We have to get that right.
So people have to be kind of mentally right, kind of mentally strong.
Absolutely. You just have to be thinking the right stuff. The first chapter in my book is perspective is everything. If you don't have perspective, changes everything. If you don't have the right perspective, so for example, I talk about in the book, I get to versus I got to, right? And so we see it as an obligation versus an opportunity, right? And so getting up and exercise, that's an opportunity you have to improve your health. But most people look at it as an obligation. So when you just think of I get to versus I got to, because there are people that got to. You don't got to, you get to. That's an opportunity. Just that alone just changes everything.
Now, do you feel that, being a military officer, and first of all, thank you so much for your service.
You're
here
welcome.
for Book Lovers Only, we roll out the red carpet for our veterans here. Do you feel that, the message, the priority has to be you? Do you feel that, people who are in the military, take to that message maybe a little better or a little harder? Because I know people in the military, they sacrifice. That's just the nature of people in the military, the honorable sacrifice. Do you find people in the military like, this book, it's I say a hard pill to swallow, but it's just a particular challenge for people who are just, their natural inclination is to sacrifice?
Right. So two, I guess, categories of people: military and women. I would say women. Let's stick with the military. So 7 Army values, right? Our 7 Army values, which we learn in basic training, right? The acronym is leadership, right? So loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service. That's that S. Honor, integrity, and personal courage, but selfless service. And so you're right. As military, that's what we know, to be selfless. Nobody wants to be thought of as selfish. Right? You want to be selfless. And so in women, we're nurturers. That's how we're brought up. That's how we're bred. We're nurturers. We're taught to put everybody before ourselves, our children, our spouses. That's how, and that's a good thing. That's an honorable thing. But in the end, we don't win, right? We don't. We lose. And so no one wants to be thought of to be selfish. We want to be selfless. And so we think this is a good thing, right? To put everybody before yourself. And so what I'm saying is, and I think people misconstrue the title, I'm not saying neglect everybody else. What I'm saying is when you take care of you, it enables you, right, to better take care of everybody else. Not that you take care of you and not everybody else, but no, this helps you with your problem, right? And not even a problem, but helps you accomplish what you're trying to do, and that's take care of everybody else.
So as you make yourself the priority, as you take care of yourself, you can be of greater service.
Absolutely.
To everybody else.
Absolutely. So I see it as selfless, really, to take care of you. Not selfish. I see it as selfless.
Wow. That's really thought-provoking. I love that. And one of the book's chapters is titled, and I love the title of this chapter, Talk Less, Move More. And you said something that I live by, and I'm glad you said it's awesome. And I try to stress authors and other people in my network. Quote, nothing will change until you change. That's the problem with most people. They are all talk and little to no action. I'm going to just let you go with that because I just, I get. I'm talking about this for like hours, but go for it.
So Nike, right? Just do it. I don't care what it looks like. Sometimes I think we get caught up on it has to be perfect. We don't want to do it until we get the right shoes, the right clothes, the right, we don't have the right food, and whatever it is, just do it, right? And so people say, Rochelle, I really want to exercise. I say, okay, you may want to, but you haven't decided to, right? So you're allowed to talk. Every time I talk to you, you have the same old story. I want to. Those are not words of commitment, right? We're just so non-committal as a people, right? You say, I want to, I'd like to, I'll try. None of that is committing, right? You say, I will, I'm going to, I am. Those are words of commitment, right? And so I listen to the words that people say, and sometimes they don't even listen to what they say. And once we kind of allow, when you peel back the onion, right? I like to say peel back the onion, allow them to hear themselves. I'm like, do you even know what you just said? And I repeat, and they say, wow. And they realize how non-committal they are. And so instead of saying, you know what, I'm going to try to get up, and they say, no, I will get up. Because it's just a decision. The only difference between me and the next person is I made a decision, right? And so we just have to make a decision. And desire, we confuse desire with decision. Desire is not having a decision, right? You make a decision. Desire is not decision.
And that's interesting, kind of like people's mentality, because they'll say things like, well, I'll try to do this, and, maybe I'll try. And it's just like they've done much greater things. They've gotten degrees, they've done this, they've done that. But
Absolutely.
Then you talk about something, I would say minor, but something a little less than what they've already done. It's like, well, I'll try to do it. It's like, wait a minute, if you can do all this stuff, but you can't do that.
Absolutely. Because they haven't decided to do it.
Right.
And I say it all the time, the same principles you use to achieve whatever else in your life are the same principles you use in achieving health, greater health. It's the same thing. But somehow we've put this into a whole different category, like they're another set of principles. They're the same principles, and so people say, well, I really don't like exercising. I really don't like getting up early. Well, I'm sure you really sometimes don't like going to work, but you do it. You get up and go to work because it pays the bills.
Right.
And so it's just things we have to do.
Now, you mentioned 10 keys to achieving optimal health. Tell us just like kind of one of those keys that, you kind of want, readers, book lovers to kind of focus on. If you could just think of one.
Well, I'd say I already hit on perspective. That just starts off everything. How about we'll go with choosing your circle wisely, right?
Okay, tell us about that.
So choosing your circle wisely. So I follow a motivational speaker, Eric Thomas, right? He says, go where
Eric Thomas.
Love Eric. That's my mentor. He says, go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated, right? And so absolutely, you want to surround yourself with positive people. If they're not for you, then they're against you, period. Right? And so my husband says all the time, you can pull a wet noodle, you can't push it, and so the people around you have to be supporting what you're trying to do. If they're pouring water on your fire, so to speak, or just being a party pooper, then they're no good for you. If you're trying to eat healthy, but they're constantly trying to give you unhealthy foods, they're no good for you, right? And so sometimes we have to really make some hard decisions because these are people that we love, sometimes people that we grew up with, people we've been knowing for all of our lives. And it doesn't mean that you won't be friends with them anymore. It doesn't mean that you no longer love them. I'm just saying those are not the people you should surround yourself with the majority of the time. Some of these people could be in your home. They could be your spouse. No, I'm not saying you get a divorce.
Right.
I'm not into breaking up marriages, right? But you definitely, if you're getting that at home, you have to be getting positive vibes from somewhere else outside the home. But your circle of support is so important. One of the ministries I'm over the health ministry at my church, Woodstream Church, and I facilitate a faith-based weight loss class called Bod for God. And so it's based on the 4 keys diet, DIET, dedication, inspiration. E is for eating and exercise, and T is for team, right? And so it's a 12-week program, and it's like The Biggest Loser, where they weigh in. They're 2 teams, they compete, they weigh in every week. But at the end, we always ask the top 10 losers, which key or which principle do you think contributed most to your success? And about 98% of the time, they say team. It's the team, right? People underestimate the power of the team, right? That constant encouragement, that motivation, that the person that's going to, when you don't feel like it, say, come on, get up, let's do it. The team is so important. So, surrounding yourself, having that good circle of support, choosing that circle wisely is very important to your success.
Now, you can choose your circle wisely as bringing new people in and being careful. But I want to point out something that you mentioned earlier, having people that are already kind of in your circle that do like speak those negative things to you. Do you kind of take them to the side and say, hey, listen, we need to have a talk, or do you just kind of mentally block them out? Like, how do you handle that if somebody's already there?
Well, well, if it's your spouse, you might have to just block that out. But no, both things I would say, because the last chapter, not the last chapter, one of the chapters talks about killing the noise, right? And so sometimes you can't remove the person, right? But you still have to kill the noise, right? So for those people that you can remove, you need to remove them. So that's why I said you have some decisions to make. These could be people you love, and again, it doesn't mean that you're no longer friends with them. I'm just saying those are not the people that you need to allow in your space the majority of the time, right? And then for those, if you can't remove them, you still have to learn how to kill the noise. You have to kill the noise, because we have those voices in our head. You have to be able to kill it. Oh, wow. I hope that answers the question.
No, that does. It's just, I know that there'll be a lot of people that are going to be watching this and be like, I agree with what she says, but my brother keeps bothering me, or my sister, or even my parent. My parent always, like, my mom or my dad, they're always speaking negativity. Like, how do I handle that?
No, I think it needs to be addressed. Absolutely. If those people love you, you go to them in love, not, bad mouthing or anything. But you go to them in love and you let them know what you're trying to do, and that you are soliciting their support, and tell them how they can help you, and tell them how they're not helping you. Right. And so you have to do that. And if they still choose to do that, then you have to be able to kill the noise.
And do you encourage or advocate people to say, if there is a negative person in your life, and let's say you've had this conversation with them and they just won't change? I mean, does there come a point where you just got to kind of cut people go?
Absolutely.
Cut them loose and let them go?
Absolutely. That I am in favor of it. Absolutely. Again, if they live in your home, though, you can't, but if they're outside of your home, absolutely. They're no good for you. They are no good for you. They're no good for you mentally, physically, spiritually. They're no good for you. Why would, that's like a cancer. Right. And so you don't want that. You don't want, you have to cut it. And it hurts sometimes. And I've known people to have to do that, and sometimes those people will cut you if you no longer want to do the things that you used to do. Sometimes they'll cut it for you. And that still hurts. I've talked to many people who their friends cut them off because they no longer want to go to the buffets anymore. They don't, they don't want to go because they were cleaning up so many other areas in their lives. Things start to, when you start to cleanse from the inside, it just flows throughout your mind. Your mindset changes, and there are other things in your life you don't desire to do anymore. And so people have lost friends behind it. Or I shouldn't even say friends. They've lost acquaintances, because if they were your friends, they would still be there.
They would support you in becoming a better person.
And that's why I said they weren't your friends to begin with. So I shouldn't say you lost friends. No, you lost people that you knew.
Now, later in the book, you also say something I find very profound. There's so many amazing things in this book. You say, quote, most people say knowledge is power, but I say application of knowledge is power. I think a lot of people get that mixed up. Tell us about that.
So knowledge is power. It can be if you use it, right? And so just having the knowledge, I don't think that really changes anything. You have to act on the knowledge. You have to apply the knowledge. That's powerful. Just having it and not doing anything with it doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't put you any further along. It doesn't move you. But when you apply that knowledge, that's everything. That's when you have the power. That's when you win, when you apply the knowledge that you have. And so, I think I saw a meme on Facebook. I think it was a meme with Bruce Lee, and he was talking about not just having the knowledge, but applying the knowledge, application of knowledge. That's the real power. And most people think just having it. They're just satisfied with having the knowledge. There's a lot of people. I always tell my husband, on a multiple choice question test, most of us will get the answers right. We know the answers to the test, but we don't apply right? The knowledge that we have. Most people know how to, if you tell them, if you ask them how should they eat, how many times they need to exercise, they'll give you all the answers. They know it, but they don't apply it. So just having it, that's not the power. When you apply it, that's when you have the power.
So they'll have the answers lined up, but then they'll have the excuses behind
Absolutely, absolutely.
Wow, this book is really, going to make people look in the mirror, which is a good thing. Is a good thing. What has the feedback been like from the book, from people who have purchased it and read it and applied it? Like, what has the feedback been?
Phenomenal. I'll tell you. So it's one thing to write a book and you're all excited about writing the book, but then it's like, okay, now when you start to sell the books, it's like, okay, now they have to read it. And it's a little scary, right? Anticipating the feedback. You don't want people to, oh, this was a waste of money, I don't believe. But the feedback has been absolutely phenomenal for men and women. And so what I learned is that what someone told me, they said, Rochelle, this book told everybody it was okay to take care of themselves, to make themselves the priority. It's like you release them from their own prison. And I was like, really? I mean, it was kind of mind-boggling. So as I mentioned before, it's selfless to put everybody before yourself. No one wants to be thought of as selfish. And so to take care of yourself, to get up and exercise every day, or to even have manicure, pedicure, massage, all these things to make sure you're mentally and physically and spiritually fit, can come off as being selfish, is what people were thinking. And you told them, they said, Rochelle, you told them it's okay. It's okay to do this. Right. And so it's been phenomenal feedback. And someone told me, they said, Rochelle, if a person can't get motivated from this book, then I don't know what's going to motivate them, because this is everything. It takes all the excuses away. It really does.
Now, from this book, do you even now, it sounds like a lot of this book is from your own personal experience. You were probably one of the ones that put everybody before yourself, didn't take care of yourself. Do you even feel now, sometimes you feel that pull to take care of everybody except yourself, and then you're like, wait a minute, Rochelle, like I gotta focus back on me first? Do you even find that tension there from time to time, or are you completely taking care of
I've
that?
let it go. I've let it go, because I honestly realize that when I take care of me, I'm so much better. I'm a better wife. I'm a better mother. I'm a better friend. I'm a better supervisor. I'm a better employee. I'm just a better person when I take care of me. I tell people, you don't want to deal with the Rochelle T. Parks that doesn't take care of herself. She's not happy. She's unhealthy. She may be constipated. Dragging, tired, no energy. You don't want to deal with that person. You want to deal with the Rochelle T. Parks that takes care of herself. I'm better. And that's for everybody. When you take care of yourself, you're just better. And so it's a win-win for everybody. It's a win-win. I've had some of my clients come back and tell me that their spouses say, I don't know where you go 2 days a week, or I don't know where you go early in the morning on Saturdays, but wherever it is, keep going. Keep going. I don't care how much it costs, but keep going, because they're better people. They've become better wives. Their kids are saying, Mommy, you're different. They're better. That's all.
And writing this book, it sounds like just the process of writing this book has changed you somewhat. Tell us how just writing this book, the changes you've gone through in writing this book.
Writing this book was a little scary, actually, because in the beginning I was like, what? They've heard this before. Why would I put this in writing? This is not anything new. And the person that was helping me, she said, no, Rochelle, it'll be received differently in print than you talking. Trust me. And I was really fearful, because people say, no, you say it all the time. Why? Yeah. But they just receive it differently in print. And so writing this book really, and just getting the feedback from everybody else, really just made me more vigilant, actually, and just keep talking, keep inspiring. I most of the time, just about daily, put posts on Facebook, some meme, some inspirational message. Keep inspiring. They say life and death lies in the power of the tongue. So we learn as kids, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. But words hurt.
Right,
words hurt, but also words heal too. Words heal, right? Words inspire, words motivate. And so I try to use my words. So what this book has done for me, just making me more vigilant, and just keep talking, keep inspiring, keep touching, keep reaching out, because it's really made a difference.
And what's next with regards to a follow-up to this book, maybe volume 2, a sequel, like any plans for that? Or
So probably giving the people what they thought they were going to get the first time. And so the first time it was about getting the head right. And so maybe, that was the how. And so maybe now we can talk about the what, So now let's talk about now what do I do? We talked about how to get it done. How should I approach this thing? Now let's talk about what to do. And so maybe we will, volume 2 or the sequel or whatever, the next book will be talking about more of exercising and more meal planning or just what to do to get this done, to follow on, to bring it around full circle.
Okay, and I want to make sure that all of our fans that are listening and watching have your contact information so that we can follow you for volume 2. So for Facebook, they can follow you at Rochelle T. Parks. Instagram, Rogam, and that's spelled RHOGAM. Twitter at Rochelle T. Parks. Your website is rochelletparks.com. Email is, and I'm going to spell this, ROCTREPAR @gmail.com. And you were gracious enough to even let us have your phone number. So if people, want to call you and just, get your advice and your input about how they can, make themselves the priority, your number is 240-292-9327. Rochelle, thank you so much for being our guest here for Book Lovers Only Live Radio, and we are looking forward to volume 2.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been awesome.
The priority has to be you. 10 Keys to Achieving Optimal Health by the Health Motivator, Rochelle T. Parks. Rochelle, we thank you once again for being here, and you're welcome for volume 2. We are out of time, but be sure to tune in next time for more great authors and more amazing books. My name is Rob Brown, your internet radio host and chief book lover, and this is For Book Lovers Only Live Radio, where if you love books, we have a home for you. Take care. I'll see you next time.